Welcome back to the Path of the Archon series on my road to the Drukhari Codex. I've just finished, I haven't just finished it, did it yesterday, but I'm recording this today. Literally went to Factorum yesterday, took the Sky Splinter Assault detachment, and had 3 fantastic games. It was, the Factorum was a fantastic place. Amazing, literally you drive up a lane to nowhere and you're like, I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, and then you suddenly appear at an industrial estate and then it's just there on the side. And then going in, it's a huge, great big sort of factory warehouse, and it's just a nerd heaven, gaming heaven. It was brilliant. There was Viking stuff, there was Roman Centurion helmets, there's a parachute on the ceiling. It's great. It's fantastic, lovely place. So rocked up there yesterday. Thought I was going to be only Crow going, and ended up that Gary, Tim, and Tim's son Marcus were there as well, which was a nice surprise. So I got to see them, got to see my guys. So I wasn't the only Crow there. So it was literally a murder of crows, which is always nice. And yeah, we had 3 fantastic games. I faced Casey first game with his World Eaters, and he took all the 8-bound. I think he took a bit of inspiration from Josh. He didn't, but yeah, it was all the 8-bound, 20 Berserkers, 2 Master Executions, Lord Invocatus, some Jackals, and there was and a Demon Prince. There was no Angry Rom, which is a shame, but his army was stunning. It was, they were essentially converted Space Wolves. There was Wolfen that had basically been turned into 8-bound. It looked fantastic. They just looked great. So Mr. Corder, sorry, but that's how Wolves should look, because they look bloody. Great game. He went first, which is probably not what World Eaters want to do. Knowing World Eaters quite well, screened with the Mandrakes in the middle, so he couldn't do a scout 9-inch move. So he literally hit Mandrakes, and then I turned around and just unloaded Venoms after Venom into them. Didn't target the Berserkers because I knew that they could Blood Surge. So I literally picked off his 8-bound bit by bit. Just sort of tried to decimate them really before they could get into my lines. Quite a sort of tactical game. He just got unlucky with some draws, unlucky with some charges. And just like facing World Eaters quite a lot with like Josh and Tim and the guys. I sort of know how to beat them. But came out to 100-53 win, which is a great start for game 1. So that scored me really high, which is always a bad thing in game 1 of an RTT. That was very, very good. MVP on that list, on that game, I don't know, probably the Venoms. Just kicking out lots of shots and just putting work onto him, like damage too. Just, if you don't get the Feel No Pain, we chose the Feel No Pain multiple times, but just didn't get lucky with his Feel No Pain rolls, which is great for me, unlucky for him. But great game. Probably a great start to the day, which put me really, really nice. And then game 2, we pulled up into Anthony and his Death Guard. And I've never faced Death Guard. I don't think I've faced Death Guard since 8th edition. And that was horrendous. That was a real war of attrition. The mission was Ritual Scrambler Fields. And on a Crucible battle, so the slanty sort of Dawn of War. I put down a couple of objectives, and he chose fixed. He chose Deploy Teleport Homer and Storm Hostile. So thinking back, if I just hadn't placed any objectives down, he wouldn't have scored anything for Storm Hostile. But then I wouldn't have scored much on primary. So one of those. It was a real tight battle. Again, he had fights first with like his big 10-man blob of Plague Marines. He had Morty, he had a Plague Burst Crawler, he had a Land Raider, he had 3 units of 3 of the Blight Lord Terminators, he had Typhus, and some Spawn, some Nurglings, and a Predator. And that was a real tough game. I didn't shoot at Morty at all because I just don't have the tools to be able to shoot him and kill him reliably. So literally just played the mission, screen, pushed up. I got first turn and pushed up with the Beast Pack and they got me deployed to Warhammer in his deployment zone turn 1. And that just sort of screened out the Land Raider from pushing up and getting line of sight onto things. So it meant that he reversed it into a building, which then allowed it to unload the Plague Marines out into the middle of the objective, which was fine. They did get into the middle and they caused a bit of trouble, but they were out in the open, out in the middle, because it was quite open terrain for that mission. The terrain looked beautiful, but it was there was a lot of firing lanes. And yeah, and that was just a real tight battle. That ended up being an 70 to 67 win. So yeah, it literally came down to last term. I scored heavy early on and just sort of pushed him back, whittled him down, took out scoring units. And then literally at the end of the game, we had the Land Raider and Morty left. And the Predator, to be fair. No, the Predator died. He had the Land Raider and, yeah, Morty left. And Morty just couldn't do enough. I think he got Storm hostile and that was about it. So yeah, that was a big win for me, I think, on that one, because I probably could have played a lot better, but Anthony was fantastic. Probably second best game of the day, to be fair, because the next one was the Custodes. But yeah, going into the Custodes match, which was game 3, and that was a hammer and anvil deployment with Sights of Power and Chilling Rain. So yeah, characters getting onto objectives, empowers them, gets you extra points, which is quite good for my list, because I have 6 characters. And Custodes went first, pushed up, Draxus, that Inquisitor lady with the dragon, put a couple of shots into mandrakes and killed a couple of mandrakes, and then that was it. Nothing of note. Pushed up onto one of the objectives, and then I literally swung around and turned it into like a Dawn of War mission for me, and just unloaded shot after shot after shot into the Blade Champion squad, which whittled him down to, from a squad of 6 and a Blade Champion to 1 man and Blade Champion, which sort of negated them. And then, yeah, screened, protected my unit. And then his turn 2, he failed the battle shock on the Blade Champion, which meant that they didn't get the objective, which was probably pretty big because it was such a tight game. And yeah, he pushed out again. I just screened. I'd lost a lot of boats. Literally, I think I lost 3 Venoms, maybe even 4 Venoms, and a Reaver squad. Mandrakes were picking up and putting down into, literally picked them up end of his turn 1 and put them down into his deployment zone turn 2, and they stayed there for pretty much the rest of the game and scored me 8 points on investigate signals, I think turn 2 or turn 3, which was brilliant. Never scored an 8-pointer on investigate signals. And yeah, got me behind enemy lines. I drew capture any outpost turn 1 as well as area denial. Got area denial but didn't get capture any outpost. But yeah, that was a great game, really back and forth. Turn 2, turn 3, I thought I'd lost because I just lost a lot of stuff. But it was clever with getting stuff out of Raiders or Venoms that were left and then putting other units back into them to sort of they could get the bonus and benefits from it. Lilith went ham. Lilith murdered, I think, a squad of 5 Wardens and Valyrian by herself, pretty much with the help of some witches. She just went to town. Her sustained hits too went off. With the pain token and reroll, I was like, okay, I'm going to fish. And she hit hard. And anti-infantry chew up on -4 AP, -3 AP, depending on when pain tokens are applied. Yeah, she went ham. She was amazing. That game, she earned her points back and more for all 3 games. The Incubi were fantastic. Druzar actually killed the Blade Champion, so got me 3 pain tokens when he did that, because I rolled a D3 on that one. And yeah, that was just a tight game. I think I won it on turn 5. It turned out to be an 80 to 71 win to me, which was horrendous. Literally sweating and stressed the whole time on that one. But yeah, great games in friendly place. A load of the VT guys were there. Jake was there, being a TO. Yeah, nice atmosphere. I'd happily go back there again. And for £10 a ticket, you can't beat that, I think. It was a great day out. And the GTs are £20 a ticket. So next GT, I think, is in March, potentially. I'll hopefully be trying to go to that, because that'd be amazing. But yeah, we'll talk about my list and yeah, show you my little prizes that I won. So this is what I got. I got 3rd place with a 3-0, which is amazing. Look at that, nice little placemat. And I also got Best in Faction, which I just love. And they're awesome. They're nice slate little placemats. They're great. So yeah, the list was 5 Venoms, 1 Raider. There's 3 squads of 3 Reavers, all with a Heat Lance in each squad and the Grav Talons or Custer Caltrops, whichever one gets the better mortal wound output. I think it's the Caltrops. 2 Beastmaster squads, because the Beastmaster squads do really, really well. I looked at the mission and saw that there was the Sites of Power mission and thought that they might come in handy with it. 3 squads of 5 Mandrakes, 2 squads of 5 Racks, 2 squads of 10 Cabalites with all the weapons, 3 squads of 5 Incubi, 1 led by Drazar, 1 led by an Archon, and 1 led by the other Archon with the enhancement for, Overwatch. And of course Lilith with her fantastic brides. And that's it. That was the list. It's a lot of MSU. It's a lot of shots. And I did put a couple of posts up in different groups and chats and getting some opinions on it, and people were just going, well, you don't have Kronos, you don't have Scourges. I'm not relying on my shooting, so I don't really want to put the pain tokens on the Scourges. I want to rely on the combat because that's where we're best. So that's why I thought 1 Heat Lance, I'm not going to waste a pain token on that. 1 Dart Lance, 1 Blaster, I'm not going to waste a pain token on that. Because we essentially just drop them out of the Venom, which I did every single turn. Drop them out of the Venom, shoot, and then jump straight back in. I used the stratagem to get sustained hits 2 on them once, and it didn't pay off. But that was it. I didn't run out of pain tokens once in any games. If anything, I had excess left over at the end of the games, which was fantastic. Yeah, the Racks, I just sent them out to die. So if I was short on pain tokens, like, cool, off you go. Go get me some pain tokens. And I think they killed one unit over the course of 3 games. But they got me, 6 pain tokens over the course of the event just by being killed themselves. So they were great. MVPs were probably the Witches and Lilith. I'm going to build a list with them every single time. I may even take another 2 squads of 10 with Succubuses. That may be something to look at. But yeah, Mandrakes were fantastic. Beast Packs were fantastic. I honestly love the Sky Sprinkler Assault. It's changed how Drukhari play. It's something, it takes me back to MSU. Just all over the board, especially against the Custodes. He literally, my turn 1 when I moved out, we just saw a flotilla of boats coming towards him and just like, oh. And just the output on them was just fantastic. Just pumping out shots. And yeah, I actually loved the Reavers. They were great just for, investigate signals or deploy telebot homer or just screen them, just jumping them out. One little Heat Lance, if we can get them into 9-inch range and melt a 3 on a D6 shot, it's fantastic. It can pop a character, it can pop a vehicle, it can do all sorts of stuff. It just, it gives you that extra bit of freedom to move around. The Scourge build, I love the Scourges, but it's very gunline. And it's very static. Whereas this list gave me a bit more mobility, especially with the terrain layout being sort of a bit lighter. There was cover, there was a lot of ruins, but there was a lot of firing lanes. So I didn't really want to be exposing my Scourges because they may not be able to get good angles. And certainly most of the missions I wasn't getting good angles. So I had to use the ability of the Reavers to move around. But yeah, that was the list. And that's where we're going to go from now. We're going to have a little play around. Maybe drop a couple of units, I'm not sure. We'll have a little play around. But yeah, let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one.